This is Mike from Nymphs, Knots, and Nonsense, and today I want to teach you how to tie the Sparkle Stone Nymph. The Sparkle Stone Nymph is a fly that I used a lot. I've been using it a lot with Euro-Nymphing. It is a heavy fly because it has here, it's got the bead head. It has extra lead-free weight that's inside the thorax. It has a body of black wire, black coated wire. And so this is a heavy fly. I also tie it on a jig hook, so you can see the jig hook there. I tie this on a jig hook. I've been using this a lot for Euro-nymphing simply because it's a heavy fly that isn't too big. This one's on a size 10. And I'll use this as the dropper fly to carry a Euro-nymphing rig down deep. Okay. I also realized that this is a pretty effective fly also in still water. Now, normally it's a stonefly. Stoneflies live in rivers. They don't live in lakes. But it's close enough to a lot of the other bug life that we have in my local pond. And so it just started making sense to take these, add these to my kit so that I could actually get other flies down deeper. And so I started fishing with it, and it's been incredibly effective because a lot of the bugs in my pond they're darker in color. Even the damselflies are like a dark brown, where normally they're green. And it's because we have so much leaf litter. Any insect that looks brownish or black is actually camouflaged with the bottom. So these started working. And I showed one of the guys at the club, Bill, who, when he watches this, he'll laugh. I showed these flies to Bill, and Bill said, "Hey, you should make a video on these because I want to know how to tie them." So here's the video on how to tie these. Materials for this fly are as follows. You need a hook, obviously. This is a Fulling Mill FM5045, so it's a jig hook in size 10, and it is barbless, awesome hook. I tie a lot of flies on these hooks in various sizes. You need some beads. I've got these guys. These are 1/8 of an inch or right around 3 millimeters, give or take. And black nickel slotted bead. These ones, obviously, I got from Fly Shack. They're all kind of the same. You want tungsten because they're heavy. You need lead-free weight. This one, I believe, is a hairline. I don't know because the stickers fell off. See, no stickers. So I don't know what size it is. I think it's a medium or a small size. It's what I use on all my nymphs. And I don't worry too much about it. You need some goose biots. I got these. I got a lifetime supply of these for $8. They were made in China, which seemed kind of funny to me. Anyway, goose biots. You need heavy wire in black. So this one is UTC Ultra Wire in black, which is the biggest, fattest wire that I've ever seen in fly tying materials. Normally I'm using an extra small or a brassy, at the most a medium. This is, in fact, a large black. Don't be afraid to tie this in different colors. So this one is entirely black. I would be willing to bet that if you use the same approach, make this in olive with a little bit of a marabou tail, it would look incredibly like a damselfly. I'll probably tie some of those up. You could do it in brown or like a medium brown, and it would look a lot like a mayfly nymph. You've got a lot of flexibility. Just start experimenting with colors, see what works. You need some rubber legs. I use these guys. These are barred clear legs. They're crazy legs. There are a bunch of different types of legs. You could do it with solid black. I kind of like the idea of using a barred color, or a barred version. So you've got clear, then brown, then clear, then brown. That does the same thing that grizzly hackle does, and it gives it a lot more of a like the impression that it's a wiggling creature. You could do this with, say, something like a black and green or a black and olive. That would work really well. You could do it in solid black. Feel free to experiment. I found that the fish really don't care. They like the vibration of these legs because, see, they wiggle. And they wiggle in the water as you move the fly, which I think is the key to the effectiveness of this fly. And lastly, you need dubbing. And in this case, I have Hairline Hairtron dubbing, which is hare's ear plus Antron. So you'll see it has black. The black is the dyed hare's ear, and then it has these lighter, shinier strands of Antron yarn, so that way it's not all dull, not all matty. That's where the name Sparkle Stone comes from. To start this fly, what we'll do is take our non-lead weight and just pinch it in there with a thumb. And I'm going to make 4 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to cut off the extra. I probably have enough for one more fly right there. But cut off the extra. And then you'll see the wraps are a little bit spread out. So I just want to take my fingernails and squish them together. Then take a fingernail and squish the ends. The ends usually stick out, so I want to stick those in. And just, I'll rotate it around with my fingertip. You can't really see it, but like this. See, I'll rotate it around. You see that end that stuck up? I will take that and just push it down with the thumbnail. Okay. Then you'll see this bead here. Beads have, it's a slotted bead. So normally when I do slotted beads, most people will leave the slot up. I flip it around and push that weight into the slot. So I seat it in there fairly well. Makes a nice little bit of extra weight on that fly. Next thing to do is to take my tying thread, and I'm just going to wrap it over a little bit and wrap it on the hook. Start laying it down, cut off the tag end, wrap over that lead-free weight a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're really just smoothing it over so that way it's not quite as lumpy as it is without thread on top of it. Don't worry too much about it. I'm going to go kind of close to the end, maybe 1/8 of an inch or a bead's width away. And I am going to take my Biots here, my black Biots, and I want 2 of those. And so I have 2 Biots here, and I'm just going to cut those right out of the feather. Okay, so that gives me 2 Biots. Now you'll notice with Biots, they have a bend. So they have a slight bend to them. You can barely see it, but see this end right here, it bends down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is position it like, see, there's the bend. I'm going to take the bend and I'm going to tie this on the far side here so that the bend goes away. So the bend is going towards you, towards the camera. I'll show you the above look and show you what that looks like. Okay. So when this is tied in there, if I turn it like that, you'll see it pokes out. Okay. And it'll make more sense when I tie in the other one. I'm going to tie in the other one. So same thing. There's my curve. I know you can't see it. See the curve? The curve goes to the outside so that the tip sticks out or spreads naturally. And I'm doing pretty well there to put down just to give it a couple wraps in. Okay, that's looking pretty good, and I'll show you what it looks like from above. right? So they're nice and spread out. And the reason why is as you wrap thread over the top of it, they'll have a tendency to move together, and that curve will keep them sticking out and not being pulled in together so they form like one tail. I want two tails on it. I'm going to go wrap up the loose ends here. Next thing I want to do is take my wire. Okay, so this thick, big wire. And I'm going to do my usual trick here, which is take it and give it a little crimp with the pliers, just like that. I'm going to give it another crimp. Okay. And then I'll tuck that in adjacent or right up next to where that lead-free weight is. Tie that in and wrap it back. Don't worry about it too much. This doesn't have to be so clean. When we come back up, we'll make it clean. Okay. And I just want to put it right over the top of those tails. And I want to put 3 or 4 wraps right over the top of each other, right there at the back. And then I want to smooth out the body. And I'm going to twist this a little bit so I can see. So you see, I twist it like this towards me so that I can see the side profile of the fly, because I'm really looking down at my vise at this point. And what I want to do is make sure that I have a good body taper with no lumps, and I'm doing pretty well at that. I see my lead-free weight here is trying to make an escape on the end, so I'm just going to squeeze that down a little bit with my fingertip, or my fingernail. There, and you will see all that is looking good. And don't worry too much if you've got extra sticking out like I do right here, because we're going to cover it with dubbing. It will not be exposed whatsoever. One little trick here. If your wire, or you put that lead-free weight on there and it's too big and it won't fit into the bead, you can take your pliers and crimp it from the side like that, squish it up, and it'll slide right into that slot. Or if that doesn't work, you need a smaller wire, or you need a smaller lead-free weight. Okay, so I'm just going to take this, throw in a half hitch, as always, because I'm going to go rotary to wrap the wire, that black wire, put my bobbin cradle up. Okay, so you see my bobbin cradle, the line just sits there. I'm going to hold this wire up, and I am going to, as all things in fly tying, the first wrap is the hardest. And you'll notice, see, I did the little duck out. I'm trying to avoid the tip of the hook. Yeah, I can hear it. You hear it when I hit it, it goes ding. And with this, it's not a big deal, but with thread, you have to be really careful because you can break your thread on that hook point. So I'm just making nice, even wraps immediately adjacent to each other, just to give that nice segmented, shiny, and incredibly heavy body as I go up, and see how nice and smooth it's looking. Not a lot of variation in there. Normally I do this a lot faster, but on camera, gotta slow down. Okay. And once I get about here where the thorax is going to be, I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can tuck my bobbin cradle out of the way and give it a wrap. Give it a couple more. And take that wire. The wire's a little bit hard to work with. Normally I work with small or brassy size. And with those sizes, you can capture the wire really easy. With this, what you have to do is you have to give it a couple wraps, bend it down, and then wrap over the end. There. Give it a couple wraps. Then you want to raise it up and very carefully cut it. Okay, so for this I have These are a pair of electrician's cutters. My fishing club has a guy who hands these out. They're actually made for electricians, so it's a diagonal cutter, and it works great for this wire. He gave everybody a set of these, which is incredibly nice of him. Okay, then what you do is take your fingernail and just push that sticky outy end down. All right, and you'll see I smooth that guy off. And we are going to just wrap over that a little bit. Okay. And I am happy with it. Next thing is some of our crazy legs. Now these come in, they're just fused at the end, and that's how they make them, right? So I have a feeling they lay out the rubber and then they have a little machine that cuts it. So you'll see all these are tucked. All of these are connected at the ends, and they're connected at the other end too. It looks like that, right? So we're just going to take this and pull one strand, or you can cut it. Either way, I usually just pull it because, you know, I'm kind of a caveman like that. Take the other side, pull that out. Ow. Come here, you. Okay? And I did end up with a big chunk, so it's like a wishbone. I got the full wishbone, or the center of the wishbone. So I'm going to take that little rubber part, cut the extra off, and I want this, let's see, how do I guide it? I want it about like that. So if we were to say it's the length of the shank of the hook, place that right there in the thorax, and then I'm going to put it on the near side. For some reason, these ones I do the near side first. Don't ask why. All right, so I tie that in like that. Give it 3 or 4 reps. It looks like that. Okay. Then I want to cut that off. I'll just pull it up, cut it off. Now I want to do the far side, and you can cheat with the rotary vise. Place that up, and I want to go length of the shank right there, and place it, and tie it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it looks like that. Take this section, I'm going to give him a little cut. So now he looks like that. And from the top, it looks like that. Okay, got a little bit unruly, guys, but don't worry too much about the unruly ones because we will anchor that down. Next thing that we want to do is take our dubbing. And I'm going to make a little bit of a dubbing noodle on here. So I just pull my bobbin down a little bit. I got a little bit too much fuzz there, but I'm going to take that. I just want to spread it out then if I got too much. So I'm going to take that, twist it on. And you don't want this one too thick. You'll see, like it looks like about like that. And what I want to do is take my rubber legs in the back and put one, that was a pretty thick noodle, so I'm just going to do one wrap there. Wrap over the middle. Take my dubbing, make more noodle. And I'm going to do one more here. Then I take the front ones, pull those back, do a wrap or 2 in front. You'll notice those makes the front one stand up, so we give it a little tug here. And I have just a little bit of stuff there that I got to cover up. So I'm going to make the tiniest dubbing noodle you've ever seen. And I'm going to put that over the top there. And a little bit more. You see, this is how many strands I use. It's tiny. Because all I want to do is just cover up where I left a little tiniest of gap. Okay, and now I'm going up to the front. I just take my legs, give them a little pull to put them in the right position. Don't worry too much. The fish don't care. The fish don't care. Okay, and now pull the whole thing back. Give it half a dozen wraps up there. Then I am going to give it a whip finish. And as I whip finish, I'm going to pull all these fibers back. Give it 5 wraps or so as a whip finish. Pull that tight. If I can get my finger out of there. Pull that tight. Give it the wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then my tails are not cooperating. Okay, give it a little wiggle, wiggle there. And cut off the end. Cut my thread. Okay, so now here's what it looks like. Looking pretty good there. All we have to do left now is to finish it. So I'm going to take my little bit of Dave's Flexament, which I love for time flies. I'm just going to give it a little drop there. Rotate it upside down. Give it a little drop there. And what you'll see what I do is I add a drop and then I pull or draw the bodkin over the top, and that spreads that glue wherever it needs to go. Now we have 3 last easy steps for this fly. The first one is that we take our dubbing brush teaser, give it a little hit, couple hits here and there, as the guy at Mainly Fly says, to give it that nice buggy look. Cool. We just want to make it a little bit more scraggly looking. Then take all of your legs, push them up. Come here, you. Push them up. Take your scissors, give them a cut, and I'm doing this left-handed, so don't laugh. Give them a cut there, even them all out. That one's not as even. I got whacked on the vise. Okay, give them all so that they're all even, pull them down. And then the last one is take this extra hair that I now have and give it a little haircut. Just even them out. Pick out the scraggly ends. Also, I auto-transcribe these using Riverside. And every time I say scraggly ends, it translates it as scraglions. I don't know what a scraglion is, but by God, we're at a war against the scraglions. And there you have it. Okay, nice little fly. Let me spin it around, give you what it looks like in the round. Okay, buggy thorax, wiggly legs. So these things in the water, they wiggle a lot. Black body, tons of weight, and this thing is heavy.